Hey guys, welcome back. So if you had just watched the first video, you realize we reviewed Mario. But perhaps hopping around on platforms wasn't the speed at which you guys wanted to be rolling. Understandable. What about a blue-suited cyborg who shoots a wide variety of projectiles out of his arm at a vast swath of enemies? Swath. That's a good word. Swat with an H. Swath. Swath. That's good. Anyways, now we're talking Mega Man, and boy oh boy, do the themes go through the roof. Specifically in Mega Man 2 and a bunch of the sequels that let you select a stage, let the player select the stage. Each stage had a completely different theme. So whereas Mario had, let's see, 4 or 5, Mega Man has 10, maybe 11, maybe more. Much more, probably. These go on for entire levels. For example, we could listen to the Waterman theme. The title theme. Quickman stage. And let's say Woodman stage. Those themes would play through every level, as well as some that were always recurring and static. Remember we said earlier that effective game music uses dynamic and static music. The static music, while including level themes, I suppose the dynamic music could be the boss themes, which are triggered by the player when they reach, the final area. The boss theme sounds like this. So the boss theme, again, that's static music. Now, as far as motifs are concerned, it's difficult to say what's a motif and what's a theme. You could argue that the title screen is a motif and not a theme, but I would say it's a theme. So in that case, unlike Mario, there were no musical sound effects in this game, just sound effects. The blaster shots, jumping, I don't recall making a sound. Blaster shots, etc. While they all made different sounds, they were just that. They were sounds. It was not music. So, there's really no motif there. However, was it effective game music? Yes. Mega Man 2's gameplay was and is absolutely incredible. Can't deny that. Invisible platforms that made you, pissed off as all mess, and you're just sitting there like, why'd you make it this hard? You don't need to make it this hard. The level designs, like I was saying, are ingenious. The enemy placement and type, etc. I could go on. That's what I'm saying. But bringing it back to my relevance and my getting a good grade for this project, the different themes for each of the different levels really made the whole experience new. Whereas with Mario, you'd see a lot of similar looking levels. Every level in Mega Man was different and therefore required a different theme. And so all those new themes really brought out the levels. It made them pop. They made them sort of pop out to the player. Going on to a brand new level that had the same music the last one would just be boring, wouldn't it? I mean, you go from stage to stage and the music doesn't change. What's the point? Why bother even having a soundtrack if it's just 1 or 2 themes for so many levels? This music was effective at making the environments more interesting and fun to play. Also, another thing to note, the title screen, that wasn't really a feature of Mario, but was a feature of later games. And so that having its own theme sort of helps to draw in the player and make them feel at home before you gut them with those goddamn invisible platforms. Mega Man 2 and Mario are a little too light for your tastes? Okay, why not try a game that's a little darker, but still manages to use very effective game music to its advantage to create spooky atmosphere, but with fewer motifs than its predecessors. Enter Castlevania, featuring the main character of Simon Belmont, the whip-brandishing weirdo, right? Right. Who uses a whip as a weapon? Simon Belmont does. So as far as the themes in Castlevania go, much like Mega Man, Every stage has a different theme, although the player doesn't decide what stage he or she is going to play next. It's a progression of a story. Again, there are even fewer motifs here, just as in Mega Man. For starters, there is no title screen theme. That's important to note. There is no music at the title screen. Why? I'm not sure. Maybe that's to make it seem spookier. Maybe they just didn't feel like adding it. I don't know. I'm not a psychic. I'm not a watermelon. I can't tell these things. And also, like in Mega Man, the jump and attack noises are just that, noises. They're not musical sounds. However, the themes in Castlevania are very spooky. They definitely have a bit of a Baroque or maybe romantic. Definitely, yeah, much more of a romantic feel to the music that really sort of brought out all of the general mood of Castlevania, which was very, it's ancient sort of castles and very gothic type structures are definitely brought out by a darker, more evil sounding music. For example, here's the first stage theme. Here's the, let's see, what's also a good one? Here's the third stage theme. So, I'd like to list more themes, but I don't want to go on for too long here. Did I say there were fewer motifs? I did. That's because there are. I'm gonna say for this one that the boss and stage clear, music, short excerpts that you hear are definitely motifs. We'll say that. So, for example, here's the boss motif. That motif is heard every time a boss comes up, without fail. So, in a way, it's static music, as opposed to dynamic. However, it couldn't be triggered without the player's actions. And here is the stage clear theme. Those motifs are heard throughout the, those motifs aren't heard throughout the entire game, unless you're beating stages every second. When a stage is beat, that motif plays. When a boss is, underway, that also is heard. So, do those motifs enhance the battles? I think so. Does it enhance the, satisfaction of a stage clear? Yes, in my opinion. The boss battles seem all the more desperate and gruesome with that music going on. It's such a contrast to what you've been hearing all level. And the stage clear, it's rather short, but it's triumphant, and it sort of gives the player a better sense of satisfaction. Very similarly, there was a game called Metroid. Metroid, one of the first games to feature a female as the lead character, so that's cool. Before I even get into this game, the title theme, which I'm gonna listen to this right here. Is scary. It's a legitimately scary theme. And for an 8-bit game to be scary, you think I'm crazy or you think I'm a wussy with a P, that is a scary theme. Seriously. When I first started playing this game and I heard that theme, I said, wow, this is going to be some serious stuff. The rest of the game doesn't really, in my opinion, convey as absolutely terrifying mood as that theme. For example, here's the primary theme you hear in Metroid. So, that's definitely a contrast. Bringing it back, though, the themes in Metroid, it's similar to Castlevania, but somewhat different. The actual game music, it does... not the title music, the actual game music, it does change, but not from room to room. You can go left and right from room to room and it won't be different, but going up to a different sector, an entirely different area, if you go down a few floors, for example, you take an elevator down to this spooky area, that's a different theme. So, in a sense, it's similar to Castlevania, but it's different because there's really a lack of a lot of changing themes. So is that effective? It's arguable. It's arguable. Was Castlevania's effective? Yes, it definitely conveyed the themes of dread. It reflected the Gothic architecture, etc. And the ancient demons, stuff like that. With Metroid, personally, I feel that the title theme of Metroid makes the game seem a lot creepier and spookier than it really is. And while I do think it does have effective game music that's good in the background, because Metroid is one of the first games that, well, other than Legend of Zelda, that let the player really explore the land. They had no choice. There was really no instructions on what to do or where to go. And that's important to know that. So because of that, I suppose the theme just mostly staying the same, I suppose that's important and necessary, but at the same time, I think it could have been varied. So not necessarily as effective because there wasn't as much of a use of static and dynamic music. But, that's my opinion. And there you go. There's that opinion. Alright, guys. Well, that covers, barely. That scratches the surface of the 80s. Mentioned quite a few milestone games. If you think there's something I missed, feel free to mention it in the comments below. Remember, like the video, share the video, add the video to your favorites, put it on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, Insta-Tumblr, Tumblrgram. Unlike the video, unfavorite the video, just so you can do it a second time. It really helps my channel. No, I don't care what you like or dislike the video. It doesn't matter to me. It doesn't help anything. I'm not going to be making money off these because that's illegal because, of rights and all this and that. Regardless, tune in next time. We'll be covering the 90s and hopefully maybe in a little more depth. We'll see. Alright, you guys. Till next time, I've been Sparky and you've been Sparkettes. Oh, I gotta yawn first, sorry. Okay.